Hey boo, my name is Denai Hopkins and welcome to Financially Abundant. This podcast is all about building wealth without sacrificing joy because you do not have to choose between hitting your goals and living your best life. You can have both. So join me every Tuesday as we navigate this journey together with the discipline to stay focused, the balance to enjoy life, but most importantly, the faith to know that nothing is impossible. Because guess what, friend? It's sexy when you got your money together, but also it's pretty badass. So let's get into it. Checking, 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on? Y'all, if you are tuning in to today's episode, that means we have officially launched the podcast on YouTube. You guys, make some noise, y'all! Ah! I am so excited. First of all glory to be God. All glory to be God. All glory to God. Because didn't nobody do this but him. But before we get into today's episode, I have a quick disclaimer. Tyrone is normally in daycare. Yes, Tyrone, my dog. Tyrone Clermont, to be exact. And but he's on a sick and shut-in list. Last week, we had to hurry up and emergency rush him to the hospital. We thought it was his stomach because he ended up eating. My mom has sent me a care package. My mom sends me a care package like once a quarter. And she sent me a care package, and in the care package, she had my pineapple now laters and some Halls, Ricolas to be exact. Anyway, I had went to the gym, and I had forgot to put it up, got back from the gym. Why Tyrone get into it? It was all over. Girl, he tore up the now laters, but the Ricolas, he literally ate them and spit them out. Did not like them. Anyway, I didn't think nothing much of it. An hour passed by. He starts screaming in pain, and we're like, oh my God, like what's going on? So we rush him to the veterinarian emergency hospital. So we telling him what's going on. We later found out that Halls were toxic to dogs. We're like Googling this on the way and different things like that. We get there and the veterinarian's like, hey girl, actually his stomach is fine. He has a stomach of steel. Baby, he bruised them ribs. We looking at each other like, how do a dog get bruised ribs? And she was like, we don't know. We're just gonna run some x-rays just to double check and make sure. Anyway, the lady, so sweet, leaves us. Me and Chauncey look at each other, and I'm like, bruised ribs? I hope they don't call PETA on us. Like, you know, because you think of bruised ribs, I'm like, you know, we ain't beating on our son. Like, he is very well taken care of. But we're just like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Anyway, we later found out that, like, in fact, that he does have bruised ribs, and he does have bruised ribs. Sorry, that's my door. But he does have bruised ribs, and he is on the sick and shut-in list for the next 14 days. So he cannot do anything. He's not supposed to. But of course, as soon as we swipe that card, thank God we had a sinking fund for Tyrone, which we'll talk about at another time, because we didn't have to, you know, put the money on their credit cards, because we're both in a space where we're both getting our finances together, not only individually, but also as a unit. So we had the money put up in a sinking fund that we started when we had first got him. Thank God, because it was $1,300. As soon as we get home, he jumping off the walls and stuff. Baby, now I know how my mama felt when we said we was sick and wanted to stay home from school. You go get your sick ass in that bed, okay? Like, we not doing that. So anyway, if you guys, I sound like to say, if y'all see Tyrone in the background, just ignore him. One day we're gonna have our own studio space, our own team, audio engineers, and all of the things. I'm manifesting all those things. But what God say in the Bible? You use what you have, and if I can't trust you with $5, what makes you think I can trust you with $5 million? And I want God to know that He can trust me. So, anyway, quick rant. Hey family, and thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Financially Abundant. If you're new here, welcome. I love you all so much, and I appreciate you guys. My OGs, hey boo! As y'all can tell, I'm so excited. It's just beautiful. I'm in a season of my life where I'm finally starting to see me the way that God sees me, and it took a long time to get here, but I'm just grateful. God has just been so good. But if you're new here, welcome to, I'll say, I'm your financial bestie. But not only do we talk about finances on the show, we talk about life, we talk about health, faith, wellness, entrepreneurship, we talk about it all. And I can't wait to start bringing more people on the show to tell their stories, to empower and encourage you all that all you need is a little bit of faith and a little bit of delusion. Because if that lady could go to Pakistan and telling people I need 20 bands by the end of the day, and she get 20 bands by the end of the day, babes, it ain't nothing that you can do. But before we jump into today's episode, I have two quick church announcements. The first one is the budget template officially launched this Friday. I know we talked about it 2 weeks ago and it was supposed to launch 2 Fridays ago, but there were some technical difficulties that when you purchased the template, you weren't receiving it automatically. So I just pulled it off, a little bit to just work on the technical difficulties. But that was just a quick hiccup. We figured it out. She's all good. And I know originally I had priced it at $10, but it will be $888. So $8.88, which if you don't know, 888 is an angel number, and I actually have it as a necklace. I don't have it on with me today because I got this turtleneck over the situation, and it didn't look right. But it's a necklace that I wear because it means abundance and prosperity in all areas of your life. And that's what we're doing. We're abundant and prosperous in all areas of our life, in our health, in family, in friendships, in work, in our finances, in our fitness. We will live a long, happy, healthy, abundant, and prosperous life. Okay? So the template is 888. You can purchase directly from the Financially Abundant Podcast website. I will have it linked in the show notes for you all, and it will be available at 8 a.m. Central Time on this Friday. So that means going into March, I don't want to hear no excuses on why you overspending and all of these things. Like, I let y'all get away with it these 60 days. These last 60 days been something crazy. But we still got 300 some days left in the year. God can do the impossible. But remember, we have to participate. And as I say that to you, I say that to myself. I'm officially ready to participate in my own story. No more self-sabotage. The second thing is, last week I contributed $15 to my high yield savings account. I have a goal of having $10,000 in my high yield savings account. Originally, I was like, okay, I'm going to hit this goal by the end of the year. But kind of like what today's episode is about, decentering goals. Honestly, y'all, I don't even have a job right now. I am still in the process of interviewing with different organizations and different things. If you're new here, I was unemployed right before Christmas. And it did hurt when it happened, but God really worked on me and was like, you have so much to be grateful about, and which is what we're talking about later on in the episode. It's just decentering goals and just letting go of these rigid timelines and this expectation and this perfectionism in not only this space but in life, and learning how to let go of control. And I was just like, you know what? Whenever it happens, it happens. I've been doing a lot of journaling and a lot of, just reflecting. And I'm like, you want to celebrate your wins or the high-paying contributions you make. And I'm like, if I can post about me adding $100 or adding $150, $200 to my debt journey or $100 to my investment account, and honestly, I wasn't even investing when I had that salary. It's just, I just been doing a lot of like, girl, you weren't even on your Zoom when you had the income, that consistent income. So how can God trust you if you wasn't doing what you were supposed to be doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're just literally growing up, and we can't keep making the same mistakes that we've been making. So anyway, I've always preached on the show, it only takes $5. If you got $5 here, $5 here, just add it. Like, it add up. And I'm like, be a person of your word. Stand on that. So if it takes $5, show that. So last week, I put $15 in my high yield savings account. My goal is to have it at $10,000 whenever we hit that goal. I am, aggressive in the goal, and whatever I have, I throw extra to it, but I'm not putting no hard timeline on it. Because life doesn't work like that. What's the quote say? When you make plans, God laughs because he got something else better in his timeline, right? So then this week, I literally leave for vacation tomorrow, and I'm going to contribute another $15 towards my high yield savings account. I might either do my Roth or my high yield savings account. It depends which one. But I'm showing you guys that if this average, and I'm not saying I'm an average person. Ain't nothing average about me, baby. Ain't nothing average about you either. But if I didn't grow up with no silver spoon in my mouth, me and my parents, we didn't talk about finances growing up. We talk about them now, but we're all just figuring this thing out together. If this average South Side of Chicago girl who literally sucked at I couldn't hold a goddamn dollar. I couldn't save a dollar to save my life. If I can do this, you can too. And I wanted you guys to know that it literally only takes $5 a day. And so that's what we're doing. hey, I got an extra $5, I'm showing you all that I got extra. So this week I'm going to contribute another $15 to either my Roth or my higher savings account. I got to see which one. But I want you all to know that we're just taking it one day at a time. We still got faith. And I don't care what it looked like right now. In spite of what it looked like. If God got us through the pandemic, He gonna get us through this. We cannot let fear mongering stop us from achieving our goals. They ain't scared. We ain't gonna be scared. We serve a God. And if He got us through the pandemic, He gonna get us through this. All right, family. That was my little church announcement. So let's get into today's episode of... Okay, boom. Welcome back. And now it's time to move into the main portion of the episode where I basically tell you all my business, which I love because I'm a natural yapper, so I genuinely don't mind. But before we get into the main portion of the episode, I did write a letter to myself. And this letter to myself is a letter of forgiveness. And I know that this can resonate with someone because I feel like we're all just so hard on ourselves. Society puts this pressure on us. We put this pressure on ourselves. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no blueprint to this thing. We're all just living and experiencing this thing together. And I just want you to know that it's okay. We forgive ourselves and we move forward. We listen and we don't judge. And so I want you all to know that you are heard, you are seen, I hear you, I see you, and that you're not in this thing alone. So that's what the portion of this letter is. The main segment of this letter is. So let's read it. And I am dramatic. And so if I begin to tear up a little bit in the letter, just forgive me, just ignore me. I was literally watching a Gerber baby commercial the other day. It wasn't even a sad commercial. The mom was literally giving the baby food. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is just so beautiful. And two, before we get into the letter, I know I said this earlier in the show, but I am manifesting my own studio, my own space, my own audio engineer, my own teleprompter and everything. Cue cards, the works, you name it. But for today, we are reading off of our handy dandy notebook, and I don't have any shame about it. Like I said, we all have to start somewhere, and this handy dandy notebook is to just help me so that I can stay focused, because y'all know I got undiagnosed ADHD, and I'll just start rambling, and then we miss the whole point of the episode, the point that I was trying to make, and then it's just an hour or block. Like, no, I know myself, and I'm going to set myself up for success. So we all got to start somewhere, and I will not have shame or get it right. So let's get into this letter. Clear my throat. Dear Denai, I see you. I see the way you poured everything into this goal. The way you've made it your entire identity. How it became the first thing you measured your worth against. I know you wanted this so bad. It consumed you though. Your thoughts, your conversations, your dreams. But somewhere along the lines, you stopped living for now and stopped living for yourself because you were chasing an outcome. I know how heavy it felt when you didn't hit your goals on your timeline. Not the first time, not the second time, not the third time, and so forth. How it made you feel like a failure, and how it made you question, is this thing even possible? How it made you think I'm walking around looking crazy, trying to accomplish this thing. Maybe the naysayers were right. Maybe what I was doing was impossible. But here's the truth. Nothing is impossible without God, but you made it an idol. You lost control. But here's the good news. God is always in control. And He's been showing you that along the way. That this journey is more than just debt freedom. It's about something way deeper. So today, I choose to let go. I choose to trust. And I choose to lean on God, because I will take this journey one day at a time. Not as a punishment, and not as a I did it because it was a point to prove, but because I will feel better, and I know that it was possible with God. You will live better. You will learn how to love yourself more, and you will walk in financial peace and the confidence because God was with you. I forgive myself for the past, and I release the shame and the guilt, and most importantly, the pressure. And I embrace intentionality, because this journey isn't just about numbers, it's about freedom. And with that, let's jump into today's episode of Decentering Goals. So I did write a couple notes about decentering goals, and I'm gonna read those notes and then we'll go into the meat and potatoes of it. So when I say decentering your goals, it doesn't mean not having goals or abandoning your current goals. And it also doesn't give you an excuse to be lazy or to procrastinate or to just be a blob, right? Like, no, that is not what I'm saying. When I say decentering your goals, it means shifting your focus from rigid outcomes and more towards the process and the growth of the journey. This means shifting your relationship to them. It's about holding your goals with a bit more flexibility and perspective. So we're reducing the fixation on the outcome, because it's easy for us to get fixated, and this fixation becomes our idol, which is what my debt-free journey became. I was so hyper fixated on this one thing, it became my idol, and it caused me stress. I was scared of failing. When I did fail, I was so freaking embarrassed. I just started spiraling, not on camera or on social media or different things. Like, baby, one thing about me, if I'm going through it, baby, I'm gonna crash out behind closed doors. I don't do that in front of people. If I'm going through something, I go completely ghost, which explains the gaps and stuff between the podcast and posting my content and different things like that, because I was crashing out. I was literally like, it was just hard. It was really, really hard for me because I was so fixated and hyper fixated on this one thing. And then when things didn't start working out the way that I wanted to, it really hurt my feelings. So how did I recognize that this became my idol? So it became my identity. Every decision that I made, whether it was what I ate, what I wore, not really what I wore, but what I ate, my friends, going out was nights, date nights, taking care of myself. Like, yeah, I never walked out the house looking crazy, but throughout I was lost in the sauce, right? Everything was rooted in, will this affect my debt-free journey? Will this affect my debt-free timeline? And like I said, those rigid timelines just caused me a lot of stress and different things like that. So let me give you all an example. I've told you guys, I've shared this before, but Fab will be coming up on 3 years in June. I have a 3-year-old. And the first year when I started this journey, I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But I had told myself, like, end of 2022 going into 2023, that I'm full throttle. Like, okay, God, you got my yes. We doing this thing. Hell yeah. Right? January 2023, that's when the shift in my life started to happen. And I don't want to say like that's when things became challenging, because in life you have those seasons, right, where things are testing you to grow in faith. I forgot the scripture in the Bible, but like it's talk about like stop seeing tests as a punishment, but seeing as a opportunity to grow deeper in yourself and grow deeper in your faith and get to know a new level of yourself and God, right? Okay, cool. These last 2 years, it's just been a lot of, you know how they say high and lows? It's been more lows than it's been highs. Definitely a lot of pivots. But the funny thing is, in these 2 years, I had all these plans. I'm one of those people, you know how growing up, you have the girls that like, by the time I'm 25, I'm going to be married with the house and kids. Baby, no. I had the career planned out. By the time I was 25, I was going to be a corporate lawyer living in my brownstone in D.C. I'm 28. Still with 6 figures worth of debt. I live in Dallas. I am not a lawyer. I work in sales though. So it's just funny how life has turned out, but it's been good. Like, I don't have any complaints, right? Like, even through the midst of all of this transition in my life, God has still been good. But I say all that to say I had a hardcore timeline. So by the time I was 28, in my mind, I had it all wrote out, even down to the numbers, that by this time this year when I had made these plans, I would be consumer credit card debt free. Period. And I would be focused on my student loans. and I would be debt free by the time I'm 30. Like, that was my heart. And even when people be like, girl, how you go pay off 6 figures by the time you're 30? I'm like, girl, forget you. I don't care what you say. I believe in God. Like, that was my heart. Like, I was very hard pressed on it. Like, I would tell strangers about this. Like, it just became my identity. My friends would be like, oh my God, like, girl, let's go hang out, let's go do this. And it's like, no, it's gonna affect my debt free time. Like, no, I'm not spending any money. Like, no, I'm not doing any, like, I'm not doing nothing. I was so restrictive because I just was just so fixated on this one thing. And it literally broke me. So when I started going through life, basically, right, and I told you guys this, like, up until this point, when I go through something, I just go and be like, bye, I just need you to come fix it. But as an adult, you grow up and you experience life, and life was lifing, to be honest. And the credit card debt that I started off with when all this kicked off, for some reason, it just got bigger. And so I think I went from literally none back in like 2020, late 2022, going to 2023, to almost $21,000 in credit card debt within the last 2 years. And mind you, this was supposed to be paid off. And that literally broke me, because I'm like, I worked so hard to get out of it in the first place. And then I found myself back in it because I was so fixated on the outcome. I was so fixated on the rigid timeline. I'm looking at what everyone else is doing and all this stuff. And I'm just like, God, this is just not fair. Like, I feel like this is a good thing, but it's just not fair. Like, I was just mad at the world, if all this makes sense. So with this previous layoff, I've been doing a lot of work. I realized that I did make this my idol. And that's what, inspired today's episode, that I did become so fixated on this one thing. And I had recently saw one of my homegirls, and she was like, I'm just so happy to see you out. And she was like, I want to see more of you. And I told her, I was like, I'm going to be out more, right? Like, obviously in moderation, because I still have a goal that I want to accomplish. But I'm no longer going to continue to let this thing suck the life out of me, to take my joy, to take my peace, to take my happiness. And so if you have a goal that you have been, whether it's finances or, fitness goal, or wanting to start a business or different things like that, take a step back and have you made this thing your idol? Have it became your identity? Have you became fixated on this one thing? Have you been so tight with it that you're not accepting of the outcome and what happens? And if it doesn't happen in your timeline, like, how does that affect you? And so I came to the realization, like, you know what? Hey, I'm doing the best that I could, best that I can, and I'm going to continue showing up. Because we have to understand that our timeline is not God's timeline. And I know that if I didn't go through what I went through these last 2 years, I would be one cocky beep, beep, beep. I know I would. Because I'll be like, hell yeah, you see what I did? To all the people that said, oh, you ain't gonna do that, you see what I did? Yeah. My head would be so freaking big. I would have not humble, not nothing. Like, and I'm just so happy that I have experienced just real life and just challenges and overcame these different things, because it has shaped me into who I am, and it's taught me to be grateful every step of the way. Because I always say this, and I will say it, but now I truly believe it. It is not the destination that inspires others. It is truly the journey. And real life happens. And this is real life. And so we're here. And it's okay to begin again. So what now, right? So now it's time to approach this thing in a more healthier, balanced way. So I'm going to give you guys 4 practical tips to help shift your focus and perspective with intent in your life when it comes to your goals. Like I said, this is not just financial goals. This plays into a part of everything, right? And there will be moments when I do get fixated on this goal again, right? I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I want to be debt-free by the time I'm 30. I'm tired of paying these people, literally. And then also, too, it's just like, but I know that if I didn't have this, I would be so cocky and not humble. It's just a nasty spirited, individual, because this has taught me the true meaning of hard work and dedication and showing up even when you feel stupid, even when you feel discouraged, even if it's just like it feels like it's impossible and it's not gonna happen. It's showing me to continue to persevere during the hard times. and that good things really do come to those who wait. And I don't want it quick. I want longevity. Kind of like, how all those rappers and stuff that we heard growing up, one-hit wonders. I don't want to be no one-hit wonder. I want longevity. So 4 practical ways to shift your perspective when it comes to your goals and to get your life back. Number 1, reconnect with your why. When I reconnected with my why has always just been financial freedom. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to live robbing Peter to pay Paul. And honestly, I want to make sure my people straight. I want to pay off my parents' mortgage. I want to make sure Chanel and Piper cool. And that's my niece and my little sister. I want to create generational wealth for my family, that our kids go be straight. That my kids go be straight if I decide to, have kids at one point. If not, Tyrone will be the richest dog in the world. But that was my why, and my why was to begin and open these conversations that are so taboo in the Black community, that the average person can do it. Like I said, it's nothing average about us, but this goal was so unattainable for us for so long, and just the whole point of this was because I didn't see people in this space, still don't, that look like me. I wanted to encourage a generation of really women and men, only men that support women though, that we can have financial independence and we don't have to depend on a man or an institution or an organization for our own financial independence. We did this ourselves, and sometimes it's not even being a billionaire. I don't even care to be that. I just want to be comfortable where I know, like, I'm cool, I can retire and I don't ever have to work again unless I choose to. Chanel and them cool, my people, I'm making money. Like, that was the whole reason I started this was for financial freedom and independence and making sure my people were straight. So reconnect with your why on why do you want to accomplish this goal. Number 2, progress over perfection. I say this all the time. Stop obsessing over the exact number or the timeline, and then shifting my focus from real progress and celebrating small wins, which is so funny. And that's why I shared earlier that I added $15 to my high yield savings account. When I had the job, I was not a good steward. I will always say, like, oh, $5 here, you can do it, like, you can do it, but I really wasn't putting pen to paper, and I wasn't practicing what I was preaching to myself. I also thought that I couldn't, save and invest at the same time as paying off debt. Like, it's no blueprint to this. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Like, I was just figuring it out, and we were figuring it out together, right? And that is life. But, I'm happy about the the $15. And even then, as I think about it, right, those are still small wins, because every time I make a step and make a payment or, progress forward, that's worth celebrating. And it's showing me too, if I can show the highs of this journey where I'm adding $200-300 at a time, I can show the journey where, look, this is real life. Yeah, I'm unemployed, but I still believe God in spite of what it looked like. That is still progress. Progress is progress. And most importantly, just not comparing ourselves to what other people are doing. Now, granted, forbid, that is definitely easier said than done, especially in the age of social media. But, when I see other people in this space, especially my counterparts, I'm like, damn, I want to be doing that. Or damn, if I didn't do, just constantly comparing myself. And it's just like, but this is my own journey. And I'm so glad I didn't get things that early on and see that real, progress that early on, because I wouldn't have appreciated it like I would today. I am in a season where I'm just so grateful, which leads into step number 3 of balancing ambition with gratitude. I am so grateful that despite this season of layoffs, I ain't missed a beat. All our bills been paid. Even if it was late, baby, it was paid. We have a roof over our head, clothes on our back, food on our table. I didn't have to go get something immediately because I couldn't afford it. I have a partner that can support us during this time as I transitioned, right? Because if I didn't, baby, I would have to go on down to the bank to go make sure, rent was paid, right? The fact that I can still make payments during a layoff, I'm grateful to God, even if it's $5. The fact that y'all know how much my bills are, like my bills alone, I'm talking about with just debt alone, it's about over $4,000. That's with my student loan bill, like $2,000, credit card, it's like high threes, close to $4,000 just alone. That's not even including rent and bills to make sure I have a roof over my head. How the hell can I do? Didn't nobody do that but God. Sometimes I'll be like, God, how do I even how do we get through this month? Because when I look at how much I get paid and I look at what I did, and this is even if I was BSing, and even those months where you BS because you fall off a human, right? Like I'm young, hot, and turned. Look, I had a good time. Okay. You still made a way. And so I'm just learning to be grateful for everything. The moment I wake up, thank you, God, for another day. Cover and protect my family, God. I'm just grateful. So when you just focus on what I have and engage with the present instead of reminiscing about what you want or different things like that, I have everything that I need. Yeah, there are some things I want, but I have everything that I need. And $5 a day, $1 a day, I'm closer to hitting my goals. And I'm just every time y'all will see now I'm moving forward, I thank God that I'm able to make this payment. Just learning how to be more grateful in every part of my life. And when you have gratitude, I just have this peace about me and this joy about me that I cannot explain, because I took a step back, I decentered this stuff, and I said, God, this is you, but what I am going to do is I'm going to participate. And then fourth, allow flexibility and imperfection. So allowing room for mistakes and setbacks, and life isn't a straight line, it isn't linear. When I said I've had so many pivots, I don't call them mistakes and different things like that. I'll call them pivots. I've had so many pivots within these last 2 years. And it truly has just shaped me into who I am, and today is just how I approach life. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my moments. I am not, baby, I ain't perfect. I was crying 3 days ago. I don't know why I was just crying in the bathroom, because I'm like, God, the world's God is that. Like, what's going on? But I dry my tears. I have my moment. I'm human. And I'm here to encourage you all that it is okay. You're going to have setbacks in this thing, especially because what we're doing, we're breaking generational curses. This thing is not easy. Do not let the internet fool you. We're seeing what other people are doing, and we're happy for those people. We're celebrating them, but that does not discredit what you're doing. Even if it's $5, even if it's $6, like, you are doing amazing, sweetie. And as I'm telling you that, I'm telling myself that. Allow setbacks to happen. Allow mistakes to happen. We don't live a utopia. We live in a broken world. We will experience layoffs. We will experience hardships. We will experience bills being late. But guess what? One thing about it, we ain't gonna look like what we go through. One thing for sure, two things for certain, I ain't never gonna look like what I go. When I leave that house, I'm gonna put these press on, like, we go get it together. But I say all that to say, I want you all to just recenter and just take a step back and just be like, wow. Because you are living in an answered prayer. I know we don't have everything that we want right now, but in due time, it will come. But don't let this go. Don't let this thing consume you. I told myself I am getting my life back this year. For the last 2 years, I made this my identity. And I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to take the fun out of the why. Because when you take the fun out of the why, it makes you hate and resent this one thing. And this is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's an amazing thing that I want to accomplish. But let's have some fun along the way. So I'm getting my joy back. I'm getting my peace back. And I encourage you all to do the same. So what I want to start doing is Testimony Tuesday, where I need y'all to write into me. And I'll leave my email in the show notes. But tell me your win for the week. Whether it is a financial win, a fitness win, you ain't text that man back, you ain't go see him, you ain't go to the DA, you know what I'm talking about? You, like, you stood your ground, you stood your boundaries, you stood on business. I want to hear the small wins because I feel like right now in this world, we need more positive and encouragement, right? We need to see that we are all going through the same thing. Like, none of this is new. But most importantly, we need to know that it's community and that there are people out there that actually care and want to hear our wins. Yes, the big wins. I want to hear the big wins too. I love the big wins because, baby, when I'm debt free, I am acting a plum fool. Like, I'm doing my big one. I'm gonna be acting like y'all gonna have to forgive me because I'm gonna be big headed for like y'all gotta give me 48 hours to be big headed. Then after that we go step back to reality. But it's important to celebrate the small wins along the way. So I'm like a little over $9,000 left over until I hit my goal of $10,000 in my high yield savings account, and I'm a little over $6,000 in my goal of hitting my Roth IRA and maxing it out. Hell yeah, that's an amazing goal, and that is a small win because this time last year, baby, I ain't have $1 in these investment accounts or $1 in my net worth. But email me your wins. You can email me at thefinanciallyabundantpodcast@gmail.com. I will put it in the show notes, and I want to hear your wins, and I want to celebrate you live on the show. So that's it, everybody. Decenter them goals. Stop making that thing your identity, whether it's your finances, the gym, whatever it is. You have to have balance in life. You have to enjoy it. What Nipsey say? Life is a marathon, not a sprint. And remember, it's not the destination that inspires others. It's the journey. So inspire yourself. Have fun, because you do not have to sacrifice hitting your goals and enjoying this thing called life. I love you all. Do not forget to purchase the It's Sexy When You Got Your Budget template together. It will be live on Friday. If you found today's episode helpful, make sure you like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love you all, and I'll see you all next week. Bye. We just completed our first YouTube episode.